Hey Taylor Swift fans, I've got one special for you today. Stay tuned.
Why'd you leave me out in the cold?
Never made it clear, never made it.
All right, so when I got into this a few years ago, my wife, who isn't a wild fan of fragrances and stuff like that, she just didn't really grow up with them like I did. And I was like, well, I'll try and get her interested by combining it with something that she really cares about, which is Taylor Swift. She's a huge Swiftie. So I went around, and at the time I could still get bottles of most of her fragrances, even though they'd been discontinued for some time at that point. You try and do that now, that's a much harder venture. But one of the ones that stood out the most, and from when I've looked online, seems to get the most love, is Wonderstruck, which I have just this tiny little bottle here. And it's, a little over halfway full. It's a 15 milliliter bottle, so not a whole lot. But when I look online, this is the one that people talk about the most, that they love the most, that has the most nostalgia for them. I think there are some other ones that are really good as well, but I do see the appeal of this one. I'll say, we'll spray some precious sprays here. This fragrance, very youthful. It's very bubble bathy. It's like a raspberry cream tea fragrance. And it's really, really nice. Sweet, like I said, it's very youthful, but in kind of a guilty pleasure way if you're a little bit older. But I could totally understand why some women would feel very nostalgic for this fragrance. I've seen a lot of people online looking for, where can they get one? Is anyone making a clone? And I tracked down a couple that seem to be highly rated. I picked those up, and I've been living with them for the last few weeks. I've been wearing them a lot, probably more than anything else in my collection, because I actually really do genuinely like the fragrance. So I have two that I want to talk about today, two clones of Wonderstruck, and I think you would be very happy with both, but they're both slightly different. So we'll get the I think probably the best clone out of the way first, because I think there's something interesting to talk about with the other. But from Andromeda's Moon, we have Inspired by Wonderstruck, Eau de Parfum. And this one, number one, I'll say this, very reasonably priced. I think it was like $30 or something like that to get this. The atomizer is absolutely a fire hose, so just be mindful of that when you spray it. But I've done side by side on paper, I've done side by side on skin with this, and I gotta say, it's pretty much spot on. So if you are just looking for, it's kind of shocking how close they are. I would say the real Wonderstruck is ever so slightly creamier potentially, but in a way that, like, if I gave you both of these strips, or if I sprayed it on both wrists, one or the other, I don't think you'd be able to tell. Even if you're a hyper huge fan of Wonderstruck, they just really nailed it. So if all you want is just a really good clone, you want to bring that back and you want to experience that smell again, I think it was like 2014 that was discontinued or something like that. Either way, it's a reasonable price for a very outstanding product. You will not be disappointed at all, and you can live with that again. However, if you are interested, I think there is I don't want to sound like I'm dogging on the Andromeda's Moon, because I think that one is outstanding. I think it's like a great one-to-one. This other one, though, I think is probably maybe even better to say that it's more of an inspired by, and that's Titania from Fable and Canon is the name of the company there that makes it. And this one, I actually first got a roller ball of just perfume oil, and then I also ordered the spray because I just like the roller ball so much. This one to me is, it's the same vibe, and it's using like the same kind of notes and structure as Wonderstruck. But I think the way that I would describe this one is if you wore Wonderstruck in 2014, you're like a 14-year-old girl or something like that, I think this to me smells like the DNA, but grown up a little bit. Like this to me smells like it's trying to make the same scent, but out of higher quality materials. Because that's one thing I think, realistically, Wonderstruck probably not made with like the best stuff out there. You know, I'm sure it was made on a budget because it wasn't sold, I think, super expensive either. So that's not to say it's not a good fragrance. It just wasn't made with like the highest quality ingredients. So Titania to me is what would happen if you did? What would happen if you did make Wonderstruck, but with these really nice high quality ingredients? The other thing about this is that it lasts a really long time. It's softer than Wonderstruck. It takes a little bit of the tartness of the raspberries out. But man, this is one of those things where like I got the roller ball and I put it on my hand and I kept catching whiffs, and it's so addictive. This is one of the most addictive fragrances that I've ever smelled. And I think if you liked the original Wonderstruck, you will like this. It will scratch the itch for you, but you might end up liking it more. So for me, because I'm actually a huge fan of both of them, I'm going to always own both of them because I think they're great. I think they are doing something slightly different from one another. If I was to tell you to buy, I mean, they're both like $30. So I would say go buy them because they're not super expensive, and see which one you like more. You can get the Rollerball Titania. I think that's even cheaper. That's great. But go pick these up. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, you no longer have to lament that you can no longer get Wonderstruck because you have the Andromeda's Moon one. It's great. I'll put a link down and below. There's no commission or anything like that. This is just out of the goodness of my heart. Titania, though, you shouldn't sleep on it, even though I would say it's less of a clone to Wonderstruck. If you like Wonderstruck, you will like Titania. It's very good. Man, they all smell so good, honestly. And the more I smell them, the more I like them. But Titania especially, man, you guys got to get your nose on this one. It's just a really nice, pleasant, feminine, floral, fruity, creamy fragrance. And it's wild that they're not doing it anymore. I feel like Taylor Swift could be killing it if she was still making fragrances. But who knows? Maybe we'll see that. This one, again, a little bit more niche, I understand, because I'm going real hard into the paint here on a discontinued fragrance for Taylor Swift, so I don't know how much appeal this video has, but I cared about this. I saw that there was at least a decent number of people online who are looking for a replacement for Wonderstruck, and I think you have that. I think you have two really great choices, and I think you should check them out. And if you have, let me know down below. I'm curious for other people's feedback if they agree with me. But otherwise, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.